Hi, welcome to Charlotte's Cooking Show. I'm Charlotte. Today we are making a fan favorite, chicken parm. So we're gonna make it from scratch, and then we're gonna sit it on a beautiful bed of pasta with some marinara sauce. It's gonna be delicious. Chef's kiss. So today we are using 5 chicken breasts, but we are going to economize because there's lots of us to feed. And I find that a full chicken breast is just a lot of meat. So I'm going to fillet it through the middle, like cut it in half. And we will give it some seasoning, some tenderizing, and then we're going to bread it, egg wash, do all the delicious things. So with this chicken breast, I just find like the thicker part at the end is too big, too thick. And so I like to slice it down through the middle. And then you've got yourself 2 really nice sized portions of chicken. And honestly, they cook a little easier. They're evenly, the width is even, so it cooks evenly and takes on better breadcrumb versus meat ratio. So this is what we're going for. Before we drench our fillets, our chicken fillets in an egg wash here, I'm gonna season them on the cutting board here. Sometimes I find that people don't season their food enough before, especially the meat, before they start to cook it. And it really can make a difference in just the overall taste of the meal. Sometimes chicken can taste a little bit bland. And so if you do take a couple of minutes just beforehand to season it, just with some salt, pepper, just a little tiny bit on each side, and then add it into the egg wash and move on to the breadcrumb. It just adds to the overall flavor of the meal. So we're just gonna whisk up 3 eggs here and dip these lovely fillets in them. So chicken parms usually call for just a straight Italian breadcrumb mixture. I really like panko breading. So what I like to do is I like to mix half breadcrumbs like this, like a traditional breadcrumb, with the panko breadcrumb. I love that. Mix it all up. You get it gives it like I find the panko gives the texture on the outside some more crunchiness, and which I really enjoy when it mixes with the olive oil. I also, because the breadcrumbs are seasoned, this one, I do like to add a little bit of extra Italian seasoning to it. So I just have this Lighthouse Italian, and honestly, it's just got a mixture of, basil, oregano, the typical kind of Italian mixture. Get them in there, that gives it nice flavor. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna grate some Parmesan cheese right into it, just for a little bit of flavor too. And I will hit it with just a little tiny bit of salt and pepper. But I'm gonna grate in some Parmesan next. Okay, we've got our pot of boiling water all set. I've added a little bit of salt. We want it to taste like seawater. We want that consistency. It adds the salt into the pasta. So we're gonna start up like this with the pasta package. Let it drop in and fold out and all around. And then it'll make its way into hot water. Okay, so this spaghetti will be done in about 10 minutes. The lid back on there. We've heated up our frying pan. We're going to add a very generous amount of olive oil, enough to cover the entire bottom, maybe like 1/8 of an inch, and enough that the chicken breast can like sit in the oil. We're gonna do it in 2 batches. We'll let that heat up for a second, turn it down to medium heat. Let's head back and we will do the egg dip and the breadcrumb. So it's good, the meat has been sitting here with some salt and pepper. We've done up our bread mixture here. We've added in some fresh Parmesan cheese. I find that that's really good. We're gonna put some on top as well, but it's great to put it in the breadcrumbs too. And then we will put it in the hot olive oil. All right, so just gonna dip this on each side and then move it into the breadcrumbs. Be really generous with the amount of wash that you put on here. And if you need more egg, crack another egg, no big deal. So I like to sit them in and then fold them over with the breadcrumbs. move them around. That's why it's nice to use a big dish like this. Make sure it gets into all the little nooks and crannies. Come over to the other side, give it the same love, pat some of those breadcrumbs into it. The Italian breadcrumbs will kind of stick closer to the meat itself, and the panko will sit out on top, which is really kind of what makes it gives that nice crispy texture. Transfer that to a plate, and then we're going to transfer this to the hot olive oil over on the stove. So we'll do just a couple of more. We'll do them in 2 batches. You want to give lots of room in the frying pan for the chicken, and if you need more olive oil, put more in. A couple more minutes on the noodles, but they're close. Okay, hot pan. Always be careful when you're with oil. So just place it in gently. You're going to see that really nice fry down there. Next one. Let's go in here. That's beautiful. And then we've got this little spot left here. All right, we've got our second batch ready to go here. Come on in and have a look. So see what the olive oil has done. It's cooked from the bottom up, and you can see it making its way up through the chicken breast. So it's cooked from here up, and probably throughout the chicken breast as well. So now it's time to give it a flip. What I would like to do is use this. You want to kind of keep as much of the breadcrumb on top. It's going to try and flip off when you turn it over. So just, there you go. You want to sear that down in. But look at that. That's the perfect, that's the perfect chicken parm. Look, color, texture. Let's flip the others. Oh, look at that. Most of the cooking has been done on the one side. We'll just finish it off for another probably 30 seconds or so. Remembering we're going to put this in the oven as well. All right, so just a couple of moments on that side. Bring this over. I have a parchment paper lined tray here. I'm gonna wait for all the chicken to be done, and then we're gonna put it in the oven, but not before we add some fresh mozzarella. So first of all, some marinara sauce. Then we'll top it with some mozzarella and Parmesan cheese, and then we're gonna bake it in the oven. So I've never actually been able to figure out the perfect equation of egg wash or egg dip to breadcrumb mixture. Obviously this needs to be thrown out because it's been touched by some raw chicken. If you have more chicken and you want to keep going, then go for it. But it's hard sometimes to figure out the right amount of breadcrumbs to use. So we've got all of our chicken breasts that we've cut in half, and we have seasoned them, and then we put them through the whole process. Now what we're going to do is I just have this jar of really fancy marinara sauce. This is tomato season. So if you have a tomato sauce recipe that you want to make and make it, to put on top, then I say go for it, because like the tomatoes are beautiful this summer, and it's just not something that I did. So I'm just going to use this jar. This is a quicker way to do it for sure. So I'm just going to spread this across the top of each one of our chicken breasts. I'm going to top each chicken breast here with some shredded mozzarella on top of the marinara sauce. And then I'm also going to give it a little bit of our parm, just like that. Then we are going to broil these, a low broil in the oven, because the chicken breasts are all cooked throughout. They're cooked on the outside, cooked on the inside, and so we're good that way. So we just really want the cheese to melt. And I'm also going to add a few flakes of our lighthouse basil. If I had my life organized, I would have fresh basil here to put on top, and I probably would do that. And that always looks pretty, like a presentation for like a dinner party or something. But these are great. Like this is a really beautiful dinner, main meal, dinner presentation's gorgeous. But it's also great for pack lunch, meal prep if you want to have a few during the week. And of course it's big and hearty and delicious. All right, let's give it some basil for a little bit of color. Just on top like that. Oh, so pretty. When these come out of the oven, I would probably put some cracked pepper on top of them as well. and you can't go wrong. All right, into the oven. Okay, here we are. Look at this. This is so beautiful. It smells so good. Let's plate one of these beauties. Let's take this one. So we put this under a low broil for about 4 to 5 minutes. You just have to really watch when you put things under the broiler. But when you put it on a low broil, you can have a little bit more control over it. So we just wanted to have a nice melt on the cheese. Again, the chicken is already cooked, but we are here. I'm gonna add some cracked pepper to this. If you wanted to add some more Parm cheese to it, you could. So yummy. All right, so here's our chicken Parm. A little bite of the noodles as well. Just a very basic tomato sauce on that. So good. You can taste the seasoning on the chicken inside the coating. That's why it's really important to do that. Otherwise, it would just be a plain bite of chicken meat. So this is really, really good. I love it. Here it is, chicken Parm. It's a great family meal. You should make it.